I'm KB with Nerdophiles. How are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. All right, so I
Good.
will dive right in. Cooper seems like the
Coop.
perfect man, when we begin this saga and when everything starts off. And then we kind of see Cooper evolve into a new version of himself that I feel like may have always been within him. So, what do you think that Billy and her journal inspire in Cooper?
Yeah. First of all, I don't think anyone's perfect, and that's the beauty of this show. Is I think it shows we all develop blind spots over the course of a long relationship, and that's why it takes work, a lot of work, over and over again. And Coop builds this perfect life, the perfect family, the perfect everything. So he thinks, and um, he has this moment where he sees his wife's journal and realizes there's this whole other side of her that he had no idea ever existed. And I think there's a moment of saying, if you had only told me at any point, if you'd only told me. And I think there's a degree to which Cooper steps outside of his strengths to become someone a little bit that he's not, but also realizes there's a bit of the freak in him as well that was always there, that he didn't know that he needed. Um, so it's a fun journey, I think, of realizing a relationship, a marriage goes through so many different life cycles along the way where you kind of need to put down what's happened in the past and say, okay, that was that. We're here now. All of that is true, but we can't change where we're at. How do we make where we're at awesome and the best that it can possibly be? And so that's Cooper's big obstacle to get over.
Yeah, I like that you said that he didn't know that he needed, because it's true, right? So, like, we evolve as individuals, but their marriage to a degree absolutely has to kind of go through a similar evolution process if
Mm,
they're going to choose to stay together. So,
yeah.
my next question would be kind of, if you had one piece of advice for Cooper by season's end, really what would that be for him?
Well, by season's end, I think Billy has a great line in there, I think, where she says, my husband is 85% of everything I could ever want. It's the other 15% that I just can't get out of my mind. And I think for Cooper, he works so hard to become everything that he thinks she needs and wants, instead of realizing there's a lot of what he has that's everything that she could want. And the one thing about a long relationship that you can't buy, you can't suddenly get, you can't go out and purchase, is history. And so history is, you can only get by living it. And so if only Coop would realize, hey buddy, you've got this in your corner here, let's work on the other things, work on now hearing, okay, there was this part that felt neglected in your wife, let's fight for that part, but be secure in these other things that you've had. Instead, he tries to become something completely different, maybe to his detriment, maybe not.
Yes, I like that a lot because, to your point, I think their history is that foundation that Billy has always wanted, right? Like, that's actually kind of what intrigues her about Cooper, is the stability and is this
Hmm.
life that he can provide. So, yeah, she's thinking about that other 15%, but, 85% to your point, and to Billy's point in the series, she's like, why can't I just be happy with this 85%? Because it's not that
Right.
bad.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I cannot wait to see what happens in season two. I hope you guys get renewed because I would love to see what happens in season two. And just thank you so much for chatting with Nerdophiles. Really